All right, good morning. Welcome to day three. So I just want to summarize what we did so far. We're halfway through now. We did on the first day talked a little bit about spiritual challenges that we all face. We'll talk a little more in depth about it today. Um, Day two, we spoke about spirit guides. We had the experience of spirit guides. If anybody hasn't done that, please watch the video that was sent. Did anybody receive the video? I'm sorry, the email this morning? Good, finally. Okay, that I sorted out that issue. I had an issue. I had to talk with my tech guy to solve that because I was sending them and they weren't getting sent, or only partially. That was kind of weird. Anyway, good. That's resolved. Let's dive into our focus of today. And I want to start by something that came up in that conversation we just had like a few moments ago about approaching this spiritual journey with two main attitudes and a direction, and that is direction of curiosity, which is always good to be curious, and humility. So let me talk a little more in de depth about each and every one of them, because curiosity is something about curiosity that is free of judgment. If you notice that when you're curious, you're open. You're really open. You're not seeing through a filter of, oh, I already know this, or oh, what do they have to teach me? Or I don't know about this. I don't feel like it. I don't like it. I knew someone who's like this and I don't like all those kind of judgments and filters and critical ju critics that go in your head, which is again prevents you from really seeing things. And I'm guilty of that. I definitely have done that many times in the past, especially when you're exploring something new, something that you haven't learned about yet in the spiritual community, or looks a little too funky, and like, I don't know about that. So letting go of that judgment and just be curious. And sometimes it's not your fit, and that's okay. But approaching things with curiosity because it is lacking of judgment and it's just open. Your mind is open to absorb, receive, and explore with, again, that childlike curiosity. Again, that's the best way of like just being insatiable and open and with desire to learn more and understand more and absorb the beauty of the world. Because this is the fun parts of our existence, right? So that's about curiosity. Humility is something that is obviously is something that pops up a lot in the spiritual communities with people who are think that because now they're spiritual, they are way above everybody else and are far more important and are far more enlightened and all that stuff. So you see that a lot, especially in the beginning when they absorb and learn something new and have new information and it opens their mind, expands their mind. So yes, they are more than what they were before, and that's definitely good. But that fallacy of thinking that you are more than others is really just immaturity on the path. Because if you really go into the most expanded, really get the concept of where all souls are just having a human experience, it doesn't matter how intelligent, how successful, how accomplished or unaccomplished or troubled or challenged, it does not matter. Everybody is here for their own journey and enriching each other through meeting each other on the path in whatever capacity and whatever place we're at. And another important part of me, who can you learn from about spirituality? Everyone, everything, every interaction. Interaction with any person could spark something within you that like, oh, okay, I see that about myself, about the world, but then even encountering a twitting bird in the morning. It's a spiritual experience because if you allow it to go in and really, when you are in the present moment, you can feel and sense. So this is why everybody's talk about being in present, being in the now. It's that thing. So you can really notice those beautiful moments that sometimes when we're too busy doing something else, we miss it. We are too busy in our own head, or we are not on a mission to do something, and we miss the beauty. We miss thing. It doesn't mean that again. There's times to do and times to be, and we can move through that with ease, sometimes instantaneously. You're in the middle of doing something and like, oh, you notice something, and oh, that's actually beautiful. I love this. and then continuing. So we can again do all of that, and the higher you go in your own vibration and expansion of your own self, your consciousness, the more you'll be able to do that and be in the present moment more and more. While still planning for the future, being in the now doesn't mean like you have no future. You still need to think about it. You still need to prepare a meal for in order to eat. Otherwise, you will be hungry. It's very basic, and it's preparing for the future. Again, even that simple thing of just preparing a meal, and obviously preparing yourself for this or getting another degree, getting some training. You are preparing for the future. It doesn't mean you can't be in the now, but you still need to do some planning. So this is a fine balance between bringing all this together, being in the now, yet still propelling yourself forward in a peaceful and loving and constructive way. So let me share an image with you. And again, this is a trick question. I say it in advance. So when you see this beautiful, can you see the rainbow? Yes, good. When you see this beautiful rainbow, I'm going to ask you now, which color is more important? Which color is uh, uh, more value or more just anything that comes up? You can just please just say out loud. What do you think?
I think all of them are equally important.
Beautiful.
I agree.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yes. So let's just it is about that. And um my guides shared that with me once like how to explain about for people to have the right approach about the different levels of the self, different aspects of the self. Because here's another issue that happens in the spiritual community. I'm going to take the beautiful rainbow off for a second is we people value more things that feel like more advanced. So, oh, I'm now a spiritual whatever person. Now I'm a yogic. Now I'm something that's again, as we talked about, little ego that goes into it. But it's not only that, but it's the putting more value into something that feels higher. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it's we don't have, and they insist on that. It's not about uh, higher levels of consciousness. It's more broader and more expanded level of consciousness. It's not above, it's not better, because we used to, in the human level, categorize everything and put everything in strata and in those kind of levels and layers. It's not, because there's no more value in that part of yourself that is living in the fifth dimension, sixth dimension levels of consciousness, ninth dimension's level of consciousness than one in the third dimension. It is still all part of the one. And as we know in the rainbow, we have that rainbow, and we know now scientifically, we know that no, the red color has a lower resonance in order to create that red color, and then no, the blue one is much higher frequency. We know that, but we still know that even if it's a higher frequency, as we think about ourselves rising in consciousness level or different parts or expanding, um, it's not about so the red is not less beautiful or less important in the rainbow than the blue one just because it is a lower frequency. It's just another part of the spectrum of selves that we all are and we all experiencing at once. So again, I'll just make it more relevant to current kind of things. Like for a lot of people who say like they discover that they have some starseed part of them. So like, oh, now I'm a Pleiadian. Now I'm Andromedan, and now they're like, oh, I hate that part of me that's still a human, and I just want to be in Andromeda or be in that part of myself. And they do have a part of themselves that exists in those civilizations on those you can say fifth, sixth densities. Um, as you go further, but it still is part of you. It doesn't mean it's better or yeah, there's less suffering on that one, less pain, less frustration, but it doesn't mean that the human self is less valuable than that. And in the same way, if you start seeing that in the spectrum of humanity, spectrum of all life on Earth, there's no something that's less valuable, something that's more valuable just because it's more prominent. Like humans are not more valuable than no a rabbit. It's all part of the spectrum of existence. So start seeing and experiencing the world and knowing that everything is a vibration, yes, and some things have higher vibration or lower vibration, and that's just the nature of our world in physics. It's just the physics of it. But it doesn't mean one is more valuable than another. And this certain aspect of yourself is more valuable and you want to attach yourself to it, and then other parts of yourself you don't want to really touch that much, right? As we talk about our emotional well-being, that's when it really comes to play with everybody who's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. My traumas, my difficult upbringing, my no, the things that didn't go that well, no, the tough relationships that I had to go through, all those things that we really don't want to deal with because that's the not so shiny and bright and attractive parts of the spiritual growth part, right? The spiritual journey. Yeah, there's this beautiful things. Are like, wow, I had an experience. I met my guides. I made this again beautiful experiences. But then there's those other things that we also need to take care of, as we talked about with the hot air balloon example, the things that weigh you down, that you do need to heal and expand and move forward with in order to allow yourself to to do that and really do so. So in the spiritual community, it's called when you try to avoid that part just by being more spiritual, it's called spiritual bypassing. And you probably heard that spiritual bypass. It's the idea is if you're trying to bypass your issues by being spiritual. Like, oh, I'm very spiritual. I meditate every day. Okay, are you resolving your issues? Are you resolving your relationship issues? Are you resolving your trauma? No, but I'll meditate and it'll go away. No, no, doesn't work that way. So you still need to really address it. And again, it's part of the courage that needs to come. And that's another word theme of the day, courage and dealing and encountering those things that you have naturally avoided dealing with in your life. And it's time to deal with them. It's time to deal with that relationship that's not working in your life, whatever that is, with parents, loved ones, friends, family members. It doesn't matter, but it's time to like have, it's not about confrontation. It's just about having the courage to do what is in your highest good. And sometimes it is simply saying, putting some boundaries in a relationship. Sometimes it's letting go of some relationships that are simply toxic. Um, and just embracing all that stuff. So it is an integral part of the spiritual journey to really take care of those things that are again in the shadow self, the things that we really again naturally we want to avoid pain and discomfort. It's part of our psychological disposition to try and avoid that. But it's time to overcome this and be like, okay, I need to deal with this. I need to have the courage to deal with those things that I haven't been dealing with for 40 years. So it happens. It's very common. And guess what? It doesn't go away if you don't deal with it. And I see a lot of people, especially people who are just starting on the path and don't have sometimes the maturity that even just life experience of just dealing with things and the thing, oh, I'm spiritual. Now I'm doing this and I'm doing again, I'm not dissing on anything in my friends and colleagues here, but some people are like, oh, I'm just do Reiki now, and that's it. I don't have to. Things will go away. All of my challenges will go away. I'll Reiki everything away and with my body. Yes, it works. It really helps. You can really heal yourself in a tremendous way, but you do need to go and still get some outside perspective on you. Because you can never resolve all of your own issues by yourself. I go to other people. I have this beautiful acupuncture, and she's more than that. She's a beautiful healer. Um, and no, I need that perspective. I go to some other friends and gain some perspective. So you're like, hey, what is this challenge? And I use my guides. Again, it's slightly, it's still, it's within me, but it's still a little outside of me. They do some deeper reflection for me. But I go and get some help as well if I need to resolve a challenge that I'm having a difficult time with. Get some coaches and and stuff like that. I do too. And you can't really progress because we have a lot of blind spots towards ourselves that we do not see. We cannot see. So we need some outside help to open those things that we really sometimes do not have. It's again in our blind spots. We just can't see it. And sometimes it's very obvious to other people. Um, and for you, it's like, no, but that's just the way I am. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to be like a sack of triggers that every person upsets you, and you're like, I don't know why. Everybody's upsetting me. Everybody's annoying me. Yes. So let's heal those things because there's something telling me that something in you needs to be healed. Because when you're truly at peace and healing, so again, it doesn't mean erasing the past. It's about neutralizing that emotional charge that you have around it. So when you think about it, it's again I'll give a hard example of like again living an abusive relationship. Someone who like leaving an abusive relationship, and then like okay, I've done I've left it. It's behind me. But then oh, I picked another person that looked fine, but then they came up to be look at the same thing, same issues starting to come up, and then you realize okay, now there's a pattern. And then you suddenly realize that only when you start going to like to someone help, like, oh, so you picking the same guy again and again. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Yes, different scenarios, different things, but eventually it's the same pattern because there's a pattern within you that you need to resolve, whether it's abusive childhood that needed to be healed and cleared, and a sense of self-worth. You don't feel that you're worthy of someone that is of equal to you, that you will pick someone who's less, or that rescuer within you that a lot of women have, uh, is that, oh, if he'll spend enough time with me, I'll fix him. I see there's beautiful parts of him, there's not so beautiful parts of him. I'll fix him. I hear that many times. And yeah, I see all of you smiling because it's true. And then many women eventually realize they really can't fix all men, and it's better to have a partner and not a project. Um, because eventually it will wear out, right? At some point it does not become fun. So it's those things that need that outside support and needing to look at yourself in a thank you for that in a clear, curious, and open way towards yourself as well. Not only the world, seeing all the aspects of the world as it is, and also the aspects within yourself as it is, and those parts that need to be loved. All parts of you needs to be loved and accepted and healed. So, and this is where, again, I'm well, I am pushing my work because this is my work. This is what I do. This is how I help people and really help them move forward. All that, again, that big gamma of a spectrum of all that we are. So, yes, you need to have those spiritual experiences to move you and open you to all that you are, but you also need to take care of those traumas, emotional wounds, and even some just limiting beliefs that you have created around yourself. Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough about this. I'm not good enough about that. Which is again, not necessarily. Again, not all of us are good at everything, and that's good too. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. And Maureen was saying, you are clearing up so much of my confusion, especially with spiritual maturity. Yes, thank you. I'm ready for the next deeper dive. Ah, wonderful. Thank you. Yes. That's it. And again, we all have those things that we need to work on. As again, and me too. I keep growing. I keep expanding. I keep learning and like, oh, okay, now I can do this better. Because I've learned that about myself. I healed it, cleared it, and I can move on. But there's the ugly part in the middle there too. Suddenly you have a few days you're like, ugh. And you need to go into your little shell and like, okay, I need to figure this out. I need to help. I need the help outside of me. Or I need to help my guides. Please help me. I need to resolve this. And we all go through this process. And again, people don't like to talk about it. You like to talk about the elation, the beautiful part, the joyful parts of the spiritual journey. But we need to talk about those parts too. And we need to clear that and heal that and make peace with it and make it a little more also known because it's something that needs to be known. Again, that perception that oh, I'll become spiritual, everything will be rosy and perfect and sweet, and um, it's not about that. We're not here to just avoid pain and suffering. That's not our goal. Our goal is to heal, to grow, and have a deeper and more broader approach to things as we talk about now, spectrums, things like that, to so things don't trigger you and then you can really start operating from a higher place within. So as we talk about operating from a higher place within, Well, I want to talk about one of the main concepts that I want to introduce to you this in these 5 days is moving from fear-based mindset to love-based mindset. And this is not just woo-woo stuff. This is really like based in our just basically our nervous system. If you think about nervous system going from the fight or flight or freeze mode and going up back into calm, peaceful, operative state. So we see that in those places. So the biggest examples are anxiety and stress, right? That we know like everything, the body's already responding to your sense of threat or fear. And all anxieties come from fear, some fear, even if you don't know it on the surface. But I wrote about it in, I don't have it with me here. My book from Freedom from Anxiety, I wrote about 10 years ago. All anxiety comes from a certain fear. Even if you're not noticing it, don't know exactly what it is, but it is important to go deep. Okay, what is this anxiety coming from? What is the and they're like, oh, it's coming from. I'll give an example that is easy to grasp. Um, Someone who's having a really hard time in doing a presentation at work. They're like not like a little heartbeat and stuff. Like we all have a little bit like, okay, I want to make sure I do okay. I'm talking about like breaking in sweats, completely like heart blood pressure, can barely function, losing everything. No, losing it pretty much again, an anxiety attack. If anybody here had an anxiety panic attack, it feels like you're dying. Yeah, yeah. I've had them. So it's natural. It's okay. It happens. And you need to know that it's you can heal that once you understand. So I have and I give an example. That person who came to me was dreading making that presentation that was due 2 weeks later. Um, of course, there was this, and again, there's also those little mini traumas that no, there's the big traumas we all talk about, no, the abuse, the neglect, whatever that is that we have. But there's those little traumas. So that guy, we went back to um, third grade, and that he said something, and the teacher asked him a question, and he answers the wrong thing, and the whole class laughed at him. And again, I think we all experienced that at some point, right? But it does create a little mini trauma inside of us. And like, I will not speak in public again because I'll be ridiculed again. And that's the again, that little 8-year-old, that's their, uh, um, that's how I'll behave from now on because that's safer to not talk, to not speak in public because it's dangerous, because I'll be laughed at and ridiculed and definitely don't want to do it. And those kind of things come up again subconsciously when you do a presentation at work. So it's things like that that again seems benign or not as major, but it's important to notice those things that come up. So we have again those big traumas, but also a ton of little mini traumas that happen throughout life, and and that make it difficult in relationships, in interacting with yourself and the world, and everything that is in between. So noticing that kind of stuff. So when you think again, it's not only like the nervous system, which is really important because it is triggering your brain to operate differently. When you are in that fight or flight mode or freeze mode, you are operating completely differently from a different part of your brain than you would when you are calm, peaceful, and relaxed. So it's known that you can't find the solutions to your issues when you are stressed, anxious, hungry, tired, or that kind of stuff. You can't because your body's under stress. You're not thinking properly. When you suddenly relax or just let go of it, right? You go in the shower or you go for a walk, and then the solution comes to you, or the epiphany comes to you. Um, so knowing that when you are engaging in a more calm, peaceful, and the feeling of safety that I'm actually okay. I have nothing is really, there's no tiger chasing me at the moment. I'm not in a existential threat. And this is what happened to our brain because we generalize all our anxieties and fears into like, I'm in constant stress because no, it's that feeling of like I'm in mortal danger. Um, so that is the fear-based mindset and operating system. Now, again, it goes very deep into our nervous system, into our subconscious mind, into the way our energetic level how we operate, and the level of consciousness we're in. So when you are in the like, constant state of fear or response or hypervigilance, it's very hard to connect with your spirit guides. It's very hard to align with who you are and get those insights and intuition in a clear way. So moving from that and start solving, clearing and healing all those fear-based mindsets of like, because it really affects the way we operate on a daily basis. Again, I'm trying to give really very even simple examples, such as choosing what to wear in the morning. I know it's the most basic thing that we do every day. But what do we choose and how do we choose it? So if I give an example of doing it from fear, oh, I don't want to be ridiculed. I want to make sure I look good enough because I don't feel good enough about myself. So maybe I'll dress really nicely so people would like me because I think, and I'm afraid people don't like me enough. And then maybe like me better if I'm really looking good. Just an example. Or if you move to the love base, so like I'll dress in a way that is I feel comfortable and loving, and I know that people would enjoy. Like, oh, this person made in the comment that how much they love my shirt. I'll wear the same shirt because they loved it, and it will be fun. So that is the same choice. You might even choosing the same thing, same shirt, but you're doing it from a different place inside of here, inside your heart, because you're doing it out of love and joyfulness compared to doing it out of fear and they're not going to like me, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, all that kind of energy around it. So this is really a complete shift that needs to take place internally from again that fear-based mind operating system to a love-based operating system. And when you talk about more about that love-based operating system, it's really the flow of knowing I am okay, I am safe, and I can be me. And again, this is a very deep, long process of working on yourself and shifting into that place of again operating every moment of every day from that place of the love-based operating system. So again, it's a transition. You're not going to happen in like one flip moment and that's it, you're done. You're going to oscillate. And most of us, if you notice, if you start now that you're more aware of it, you'll notice I operate. Sometimes I make those choices out of fear and sometimes out of love, and I'm okay with and confidence. And we all have those areas in your life that we are very confident and comfortable in, and something that you're not. You're not. We all have that a little bit. So it's important to notice that and work on those aspects that you are not and that you're still in that fear base and moving them slowly, releasing all the blockages and the limiting beliefs and the little mini traumas and big traumas to clear that and move yourself into that love base. And then you are working and thinking and operating from a completely different place in life and approaching everything in a different place. So suddenly, all those kind of traffic jam or somebody cutting you off, doesn't matter. No one's hurt. Let them go on their way. They're on their journey. Maybe they're upset about something. Maybe they're in a rush. Um, doesn't pertain to me. It's not personal. So changing again that mindset. And again, I'm the worst offender. I used to be a very kind of not road rage, but definitely a hothead on the road when I was younger. So I definitely did that transition of moving into like it's just not personal. And it's they see a car, they don't really, it's not against me specifically. And even if it is, it doesn't pertain to me. It's their thing, they're on their journey, they're doing their thing. As long as nobody's hurt, moving on. So having that kind of mindset and attitude, and again, it takes a lot because a lot of us, on some level, we feel unsafe in some area in our life. So again, it's moving to that love base. It's a lot about safety. If you think about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety is one of our biggest needs. And we need that to feel, oh, okay, comfortable. Now I'm comfortable. I can operate from a different place. My brain works differently. My heart works differently. My whole being, I'm more open, more insightful, and free of all those, again, triggers that had before have plagued you and dictated your day. So that's an important shift in how we do things. All right. So I'll take a break from talking now. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. So any insights, any comments you might have on this, or things that came up to you as I was talking about this, please share. Make it a little more interactive. Not everybody at once. No, no insights.
I no, I can share. It's
Thank you.
just I share a lot, and I try to stay back sometimes to give other people space. So, um, so I I'm a verbal processor. So thank you for bearing with my
Yeah,
talk. um, I've had a lot of insights in this, but one particularly that is relative to the message I sent you, Harry, is that I'm seeing more and more clearly, well, I'm being reminded more and more clearly that I have been one of those people who, I've done all this work and I'm spiritual now and I've been bypassing and I didn't realize I was bypassing. And I
yeah,
think that's huge to understand
yeah,
because what that turns into for me when I bypass is blaming myself. But to be able to now ponder that and contemplate that and be able to recognize it sooner because last week was a horrible week and I was exactly in that panic place and I was out of control and it was a PTSD moment and I was just begging and screaming for help. Help me, I don't know what to do. And the next day, things started to get a little lighter and all week my partner and I have been struggling with stuff and we have a great therapist, but I am seeing so much more clearly since we started this. It's just adding to. And so your comment about, get it from other sources. I was a coach. I had a coach. I've reached
yeah,
out and reached out, but also it helps me be kinder to myself because I just realized as you were finishing up that everything, I started this work 50 years ago without even knowing I was starting it. But everything I have learned has been little tiny pieces at a time. And I feel now like I learn and I integrate and I learn and I integrate, but I feel so clear now that I'm really ready. The courage. I've got the courage now to go even deeper. And it's feeling like the place I'm getting closer to where I
yes,
want to be. And it will just take my lifetime.
it is.
Um, but I even now that I'm retired, I say I have more time. So instead of picking up my phone, I want to pick up your book. I read. I have a lot of books stacked. It's time for me to sit down, pick one, and read it all the way through because I'll be drawn to the right ones.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Maury. I appreciate that. Anybody else would like to
Okay.
share? Any insights?
I
Yeah, Debbie.
just have a little comment.
Hmm.
I'm not as thought provoking yet as Maureen, but um,
Don't
when
compare.
you said when you said you can't think when you're in panic mode,
Hmm.
and it, I feel that so much because I get my best ideas right before I wake up
Mm.
or
Yes,
when I'm about to go to sleep. I get all my ideas,
that's
but
right.
my problem is I need to execute my ideas.
That's
That's
always the
my
challenge.
next thing. Yeah, and
Thank
I
you.
need more courage.
Yes, more courage. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is about that. And it's empowerment is something that is hard to quantify, but once you start having it, it really makes a difference. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I feel empowered. I feel the power within me to do something that I was really t having a challenge with before. I'll give you an example. I'm not sure I gave over that example, but I had a client recently. And she encountered that there's definitely a narcissist in her that she was working with, and a colleague that she needed to work with, a kind of a client, difficulty with that. And he was, a very much manipulative, bullyish kind of person. And she was, and before that, she was always used to get very flustered and frustrated, and the voice get all kind of a little kind of and get visibly shaky because she's just more upset about someone not treating her like a professional. And she's a high executive kind of thing, um, and someone who's not so. suddenly she's like, no, and she stood her boundaries in a clear professional way and didn't get all shaky. Her voice was fine, and she was able to stand up to this person. And it's like, and she's like, I wasn't able to do it 2 weeks ago. And she was really excited about that. And it's those little things. That again, it doesn't have to mean you suddenly become a meanie. It's not about that. That's just about standing, creating the boundaries, standing for your own value and worth, and knowing your own value and worth, and not letting other people shake you so easily. So just an example of that. And what you mentioned before, Debbie, is that sweet moment between waking up and sleep, kind of like, no, that transition is there's a reason why it's that time. And first of all, we are kind of transitioning into a different level of consciousness, a different pattern of brain waves. So we're moving from the better brain waves, which you are right now, and to alpha and theta, and then deep sleep is delta. So we are opening ourselves to slightly different things. This is what meditation brings us to, that alpha and theta brain waves, which you are more open. Suddenly you have those insights. So this is why meditation and what we did like yesterday, that'll get you to those spaces, kind of on the verge of sleep. And you'll notice sometimes when you'll fall asleep, actually, because we are moving into that space. So yeah, utilize that. And again, as I said yesterday, try to write it down. Because when you write it down, it moves from just this ethereal space of like, yeah, I need to be doing this. Because then you forget when you move on through the day. And writing it down, even putting it on the fridge, of like, I need to be doing this. Or and sometimes it's very, you can say, abstract, but it's so powerful. For example, focus on joy. It sounds like, okay, that's kind of obvious. Why even bothering telling me this? I need to focus on joy. But then if you really focus on joy, if you really put it on your fridge, put it on your in your forefront of your thought, I need to focus on it. Suddenly you find yourself like, oh, I'm getting lost in like little bickering or little drama. Like, oh no, no, I'm okay, step away from it. And doing that, and suddenly you're more aware of it. Suddenly you are making different choices, because every moment of every day we have the choice, the intentional choice of choosing a different thought, not just being a victim of the train of thought, but actually intentionally choosing or shifting those thoughts and not letting it run us, but us running the thoughts. So again, it's and nobody's perfect about that, but it's just the awareness of it. Suddenly you're more aware of it. Okay, I need to be choosing joy, and suddenly you find yourself choosing more joyful thoughts or more joyful activities. Oh yeah, let me go outside and sit in the beautiful yard. It's actually pretty right now and very nice outside. Let me do that. So that kind of stuff. And not feeling guilty about it, like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing the dishes. I should be, yeah, because we all are very good at we acing that part of being hard on ourselves, right? And being judgmental and like, oh, you should be doing something productive. What is joy? What is this joy thing? Right? And no, no, that joy is what we need to be doing to raise our frequency, to raise our level of contentment and happiness. Because when we are happy, everybody around us will notice that and enjoy our happiness and our contentment. So it's not like it's something you do only for your own. It's not an egotistical thing to do. It is actually very helpful. And this is what they're all talking about: raise your light, being in a better place for the entirety of humanity. Because if you think about it, if everybody would focus on that for just the moment, everything will be better, because everybody will be in that better mode of operating, again, love-based operating system, being in that joyful state, happy. So all interactions suddenly become more positive and playful and pleasurable. It's a different thing. And suddenly, like in and you can see that. And I don't know about you guys, but if you work with people, you see it right away. And I'm talking about even like when I worked in retail in past, and it's just like somebody comes at you with a smile, and with, you can see that they're actually happy, not like just a fake smile, but a real, like, they're like, hey, how are you today? And like, oh, that feels good. Suddenly, like, you change your mode, and then some big company like, you didn't have this. I'm like, okay, I. And so it's your attitude, your approach, your own higher vibration affects everyone around you. Not only in the woo-woo stuff of changing your light and becoming brighter and that kind of stuff, but it's really about shifting your mode of being into just a better place. And again, it's a process. It's not something that happens instantaneously, but you have those steps that you can go through and shift the way you are. So, and as we do that, it's about combining all of those things and different parts. And as I'm starting to think of like how do we what do we use? What tool? People ask me, so what tool, what modality are you going to use with me today? And it's like, that's I don't first of all I don't choose that. Like why am I deciding that you are going to be healing for? Like, no, that's the wrong attitude. I'm not the all-knowing I that knows everything and what you need. This is exactly the wrong direction we like to take because when you do that and people come and would just fix me, people give their power away. So I'm in the business of empowering people and having them like, no, no, you have the answers. I'm just going to help you get there, like we did yesterday. I'm just going to help you get them out of you. And I know how to do that. But you're the one who's getting the guidance. You're the one who's getting those insights. You're the one who's doing it. It's coming from you. So you are the one who has those answers. And sometimes like, okay, what are we going to use today? I don't know. It's usually combination, a synthesis of different things that happen at once. So you don't really, oh, are you going to do hypnosis today? Are you going to do NLP? Are you going to do psychology? Are you going to do coaching or energy healing? What are you going to do? Usually it's all of it together in one session, a combination of all of it. Um, it really is all that is. It's just it's a synthesis of all that I do, and I bring whatever that person in front of me needs at that moment. And again, and a lot of times I don't determine that what is needed. I just open the door and allow that needs to come to that person come forward. And a lot of times the people are like, so what are we going to be focusing on today? Well, let's see. Let your own subconscious, higher self, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call, whatever it's coming from, that needs to be taken care of. So we go into the spot opening, like similar to what we did yesterday, open that place, get into a place of safety inside of you in that higher realm. And from there, what needs to be taken care of? What needs to be healed right now? And that's how we do it. And that's how we go forward in doing that kind of stuff. So in this 5 days, I'm presenting you two different parts of what I do. Again, we did yesterday and what we can do tomorrow, the breath work. But it's just two avenues. Then I have so many more things. And it's not just about me. And it's about really allowing you to be all that you need to be at that moment, all you need to come through, and all you need to be healed at that moment. So that's my focus. And thank you, Marie, for saying intention and awareness go hand in hand. Guidance is the key. Absolutely. Awareness is the first step. Awareness is once you start, like we just talked about today, and several of you mentioned it. So now I'm aware of it. Now I understand it, and suddenly you'll pick up things, or you stop yourself from doing the things that are not in your highest good faster and quicker. And then it's like, and then it's setting the intention, like, okay, I want to be in a better place. Well, intention is you're right. Maybe intention could be before, like I want to do things that are in my highest good or experience joy today. And if you do those kind of statements, I'm going to experience joy today. You will notice how much more joyful your day will be. It's amazing because you put your focus on it, and you are also again bringing that experience into you, and you're focused on it. Again, it's the same thing at the glass half empty, half full. What do you focus on? It sounds so simple, but it's profound when you start shifting. What am I focusing? I want to focus on what I have, not what I don't have. If you keep focusing on what you don't have, it makes you feel just a sense of lack, like I just don't have it yet. I want spiritual enlightenment again in this area. I don't have it yet. That's what your subconscious is like. Oh, you don't have it yet, so it sucks. So life sucks and you don't have it yet. And you keep pursuing it. You keep chasing happiness and you don't have it. Oh, I don't have it yet. Like, but there's only like about, I don't know, 300 little moments of happiness in a day. If you just notice them, suddenly like, that was a happier day, right? And again, it's not only like I don't like again I'm trying to also demystify all those kind of cliches because when you a lot of in the spiritual community there's a lot of cliches like oh just focus on gratitude, and it's kind of feels so like okay it's kind of hard to do and doesn't feel I don't feel connected to gratitude, but I start thinking like um but when you start doing that in a real way I was like oh wow that's even just like those little things like wow I have air to breathe. I have this earth to live on and experience my life. It's absolutely magical. We're floating in space in a little ball of rock and water and surrounded by this beautiful atmosphere, and we get to live our life in it. And it's one in a million. It's absolutely exquisite. Just thinking about that. So waking up with that thought, like, wow, this is absolutely special. Instead of focusing on the little problems in your life and this is not working and I still need to call the agency, all those little things, that's just noise. That's just noise. So opening yourself to like just experience that beauty of like, wow, I get to walk. I know so a lot of people know that. It's like it's not no longer a privilege to a lot of people who cannot walk anymore for some reason or another. And it's wow, I get to walk. That's fantastic. I can just get up and go. It's beautiful, and just knowing that. And so when you start feeling yourself a gratitude, again, on the most basic things, get up and walk. Wow, this is fantastic. Again, and I think I sent a video just earlier this. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but it's okay. Um, I I had an experience this, but and it happens a lot, like more and more, as you guys know. When you see people your age that died, someone from my high school just passed away a month or two ago, and it was tough because you're just a classmate. But still, it's like wow, it's so and just thinking that from this moment on, every day is a gift because some people that been to class with me no longer have that gift. So every day is a gift and remembering that because we forget. I'm the worst offender at that. Like and just getting lost in the nitty gritties, and it's like whoa. That's the perspective. No, just every day is a gift. It's a beautiful gift that we need to cherish and enjoy, and focus on the good stuff. So I hope this is inspiring, and helping you move in your space. And again, the internal space. And again, that part of what Marie was saying, setting the intention, like I'm going to have a joyful day. Doesn't mean that every moment is going to be joyful, um, but it's going to be overall be a joyful day. And setting that, and suddenly you become more aware of that, and your focus of attention is on that, on those things. And sometimes and this is why I'm saying do that spirit guides connection every day because sometimes they tell me today it's okay to just relax because I'm like oh I have all these projects to do I have all these things I want to do workshops I need to develop and I need to focus on fix my website like you know what take a day off take a day off relax and just enjoy the family and go for a nice hike with the wife and dog and just relax a lot. Let go of it. Everything will be there tomorrow. Believe me, it's going to be okay. Now, and then Sunday, I feel like, oh, okay. I have permission to enjoy myself. It sounds silly, but it's really profound. Suddenly, like I am free. I am suddenly feel so much lighter and freer to just enjoy myself and just be happy. And then I feel so much more recharged and really renewed for the next day when I do need to deal with those tasks that I don't like so much. Um, so it's okay. It's okay. So again, it's that process of like shifting from the inside and choosing things differently every moment of every day. And Don Miguel Ruiz in his book, The Four Agreements, which is phenomenal. And I recommend reading it at least once every 5 to 10 years. Um, I see something completely different every time I read it. Beautiful. And it's a very short book, so you can go through it pretty quickly. But he says like, no, that every day, and I would expand it to every moment. No, do your best every moment. Is that's the one of the do your best, and your best changes every day. Sometimes you're not feeling well physically, so your best is really right now just rest and be at peace. And sometimes you're like full on, okay, let's do stuff. And sometimes you're not, and sometimes so your best changes every day. Your best is not like this is my highest best I've ever done before. Now I have to accomplish that highest best every day. No, 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 no. This is not this is craziness. It's not we're not machines. We are living creatures that have a lot of going on emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Um, and sometimes we're just not, our best is just a little less than what was yesterday. And being kind to ourselves and knowing this is okay. It's okay that my best today was not really that much because I was not feeling well, I was not doing this well, or so it's okay. So knowing that every day your best or every moment your best can change. Yeah, very good. Okay, any other comments, reflections, insights? And if you do, just raise your hand or I'm sorry about the barking. That's just trash day. The dog is excited. Uh, it's his duty. No, everybody has a purpose in life. That's his purpose in life. So trying to think of yes, Marilyn. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Um, so I've been trying to work on love, and so I was going kind of a deep dive with that. This is what I've been doing the past week or so. And I realized that, because I lived with very mean, cruel people. And I realized that my biggest fear in life is love.
Yeah,
I fear it. I just, I want to go there, but I just don't trust people enough.
yeah, absolutely. And that's a deep
Yeah,
wound. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that,
well,
Marilyn.
apparently it is. I,
Yes, it is.
you
It's
know,
it's very tough. It's very tough.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
just
it's
thought, I wanted to share because maybe somebody else feels like that too.
yeah.
I don't
Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for being vulnerable and allowing that. Because I think we all felt that at some level. It's some are more extreme than others. You had an extreme experience with that. But it is about uh, eventually, if you think about it in the purest level of emotions, love is the emotion. It's the emotion of the universe. Love.
Yeah, I
And
know.
yeah,
It's horrible, Harry, to have the realization that, oh my God, I fear it the worst of anything.
yeah,
It's like, oh my God, I fear the one thing that, Earth is all about.
yeah.
The universe, God, I mean, in anything and everything creator, every
That's
single
right.
thing is created with love. And it's the one thing I fear. That's now I'm creating another fear, the fear of the fear. I don't
That's
know.
right. And that's how it usually works, by the way. No, it really does. As the fear of feeling the fear again, and you don't want to feel that fear again, so you're fearing that. Um,
Yeah,
it's kind of
kind
a
of
vicious
nuts.
cycle. But yes, and it is really our ultimate goal, all of us. Again, certain different levels, different expressions of it, but to really learn how to love and love fully and unconditionally. And the hardest one, of course, is loving ourselves. That is the toughest. Because we all can imagine loving a puppy or a cute little kitten. Can all imagine loving that unconditionally. That's really, I think, easy for most people. But loving ourselves, ooh, that's a lot harder, right? A lot of criticism and judgment and so it's tough. It's tough, and that is our biggest journey. And we don't necessarily master it in one lifetime.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, no, I said not
I'd like
necessarily.
to get this resolved this lifetime, Harry. I don't
And you
want to do
can.
this again.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. And it's not only about experience. I'll give you an example. One of my um, so actually, I had a lot of clients like that. No, we were exploring past lives, and it is about exploring the different aspects of a certain theme. So, for example, the theme of love. So, in one lifetime, you have it can be the most simplest lifetime. It could be a lifetime as a farmer, in whatever 500 years ago. Not exceptional lifetime at all. But that farmer had a beautiful, loving life. with their small little family, and they just loved and experienced love in its fullest form. And that's beautiful. And that was what they came to experience in that lifetime, to experience love in this beautiful and simplest and most deepest form. And another one is the feeling of experiencing the lack of love, the absence of it, more correctly, the absence of love, and the difficulty of not being loved. And there's everything in between. The experience of jealousy, which is again feeling that you're going to be held from being loved. Um, Being loved again in certain relationships, whether it's parental or love in a romantic relationship or love with siblings or children, all the different types of different challenges of love. So doesn't mean that you, again, this is when I'm talking about lifetimes, because it's not necessarily you're going to keep on repeating the same pain. It's not about that, because you are already working on it. You're aware of it, you're working on it, and you are moving towards healing a lot of it. But it's about experiencing different aspects and different, in the spectrum, again, going back to that rainbow, that spectrum of love, all the way from pure love to the complete absence of it. So it's this is what we're here to experience and know. And we cannot do it without that veil that comes to us as we are born and we forget everything we've done before. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard. We forget how connected and in love and in oneness are as souls. And we're here to like, wow, I wonder how it feels to not have that. So we have to block it a little bit in order to suddenly not feel so one, because the soul is curious, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be here. The souls are very curious to what it feels like to not be in oneness and in love and inside in that state of love all the time. And the only way to experience it, if you're always connected and always feel loved, is to be separated from it and be born into an existence in this density and as a human being to learn to experience all that spectrum, because you cannot do it when you're in pure soul level. So that's why it's so important. That's we coming here. So again, it's not about all suffering. It's just, but we need to experience that full spectrum. And it's because we're curious. We want to know how it feels. So, but again, it's not about keeping in being in that state all the time. Okay, we can experience how it feels, and then like, okay, let's heal it now because I'm done. The lesson is complete. And most of us are stuck and not healing, and just stuck in the wound and not healing it. So this is again that deep process of inner shift and change in healing ourselves and growing, and again, most importantly, showering ourselves with that deep and profound unconditional love that we need in order to reparent ourselves and open ourselves to experiences love again. Because it's not like we never did, it's just not maybe in this lifetime. So it's rather complex, but eventually it's actually not. It's rather simple. It shows up in a very diverse and very intricate and never repeating patterns because no one person has the same experience as another. Um, and it all comes back to that same idea of going from that we want to experience the spectrum of what it is to be human, what it is to be away and learning how it is to experience without being in that love and oneness space that we so love to go to in our meditations, go back to it like, this is home. Yes, that's home. It's exactly it. It is his home. This is where we usually are. And when we're down here in this like very elaborate video game that we call life, we are inside that space of being in that avatar that is our little human self. So yeah. So enjoy experiencing, but let's heal it then.
Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, no, thank you, Marilyn, for sharing that. I'm sure we all experienced that at some level, and again, unfortunately, some people in a more severe way. So thank you. All right, we've reached our time. Um, Thank you so much for being here and sharing yourself, being vulnerable, and having the courage. I'll go back to it, having the courage and curiosity as we listen to it. And tomorrow we'll be doing the breath work. So if you have any problems with high blood pressure or seizures, let me know. Communicate with me personally. We'll see what you're at that level. because it is hyperventilating. Will actually stress the body to bring it to a place of openness. It's a lot of scientific part of it, which is again over oxygenating and under carbon, less carbon dioxide in the body, which will bring all kinds of interesting phenomena in the body. But it does eventually when you do it enough. And well, we'll do a sample. We're not going to do a very, very long time. Do like 15 minutes of it, but it will help experience that shift of consciousness and opening any trapped things that happen in the body from the body level up. Yes, Maureen, you had a question.
I just no, I just want to say that I am sad I can't be with you all alive tomorrow.
Oh, bummer.
Um, but I will listen to the video, but I am actually going to be in another spiritual exercise tomorrow. Um, but I look forward to being with you all, not in person.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you. No problem. Enjoy it. Enjoy whatever you're doing tomorrow. Very good. So, well, again, tomorrow will be similar to what we did yesterday. We'll talk a little bit first. I'll explain a little more of what we'll do and how it's going to feel and how we're going to be doing it. Um, and then we'll do the experience. So be ready in a place that you can, after 15 minutes of talk, you can lay down, ideally with headphones. Really important to do with headphones. And if you have eye covers, please do that. That'll be ideal. And laying down flat if you can, or on a recliner that is all close to flat. That's ideal. So your body, you have space to do that, the breathing, the heavy breathing. Okay? It's gonna be fun. And we'll talk again in more details tomorrow before we do it. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and hope you enjoy this. And we'll see you tomorrow. Or if not, we'll see you the day after that. All right. Have a good one.